That's what we've been waiting for. Unbelievable timing on that. And it's the Tigers straight away. Game. Elliott! What a start!
Welcome to the Ultimate Supercoach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
How are we going to now? Can we hear me? Give us a thumbs up in the chat. Surely with 5:30 you can win something there. Can we hear me? Excellent. That's good. I'm the Supercoach Mattrix. I'm flying solo today. A flying toilet was in first. We're going to shout out. This is our weekly review show, our weekly preview show. We're brought here by the Standard Squeeze, Ryan from Astute Newstead, and Bonus Bank. Remember to use the code INSIGHT15 to help those who help us. Remember, you have until 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time to do your trades tomorrow. We only have less than 24 hours to get our trades in. So, yeah, thanks everybody for popping online. Let's have a look at the chat. And I reckon with 530, Theo, you do have a chance. Look, I'm not going to go through when I'm solo. Actually, let's do it.
It's time for some news from around the league.
There are rumors that, and not from super reliable sources, but there are rumors that Will Magnay is done for the season, which means we may even have to have a look at Marcus Lee as an option. He might get some extended run. I know Hammer's looked at Kruzlovic at times. Maybe he's a backup worth looking at. So, yeah, we are going to be delving into that at some stage as well, the implications of that. But I'm going to wait for more of a reliable source to come out on that one before I comment too deeply. But let's go have a look at the NBL matches. And, of course, it was the Christmas period, so you probably missed a couple of them. The Sydney Kings had 2 losses this week, and their first loss was against the Illawarra Hawks. I know a lot of people were looking at getting in your DJ Hogues and your Jalen Adams, your Boldens. I had Denzel Valentine. You would have been disappointed with all of those. 30 from Hogue, 19 from Adams, 17 from Hunter, 16 from Bolden, and a -4 from Denzel Valentine. So I was super disappointed with that. As a Denzel starter, I was devastated. Parker Jackson Cartwright got a 36. Anthony Lamb got a 33. And they were capped off again with good games again tonight. Rubes Vicious with 16 for those who went for that cheapie. And Mango Mathian with a 20. The Cairns Taipans absolutely derailed Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. It looked like one of those moments where you just were riding the Phoenix's year off after a game like that. But they did come back into a bit of form later on in the week. Paddy Miller with 41, Taj McCall with 34, Taron Armstrong with 15, Bobby Klimpman with 13. Josh Roberts did not see the floor. Jonah Antonio got limited minutes, and Sam Wardenberg rewarded holders with a 25. Alan Williams, source, after I thought that he didn't have the best matchups, went and got 47 in this one to be the top scorer. And Nader worked him well with a 27. A Flying Toilets Kenyon went and got 18. And popular in this week, Ben Eyre got a 16 as well. Heading into the Illawarra Hawks, and we'll get to your questions in a little bit. Just working a few screens at the moment while I'm on holidays, a flying toilet. Just down the coast, man. Just enjoying my time away, and I'll be back next week at home. We have the Illawarra Hawks went down to the Jack Jumpers. Jordan Crawford, 28. Jack McVeigh, 25. Will Magnay got 22 in that one. Clint Steiner with 21 and Milton Doyle with 20. Froling top scored with 39 in the game. Justin Robinson with 25 and Gary Clark, 22. Lockie Ulbrich with an 8 and AJ Johnson with a 4 are probably the only guys that we'd see on anyone's teams there. Melbourne United took care of the Perth Wildcats. Bryce Cotton, Luke Travis, both with 46 respectively. Chris Goulding with 30, Pinder with 39, Usher with 28. It's just so disappointing that Perth's schedule is so bad. Otherwise, well, Cotton was the main. Like, it's time we cotton on to how good this guy is. He top scored for the week. Which is a given, probably a better 1 week play than bringing in Sobey like I did. When we have a look at the 36ers defeating the Bullets, I was disappointed, but when you see Sobey score 41 and you've got the captain's armband on him, you're pretty happy there. Of course, some really relevant guys this week on Adelaide, so I want to mention them. Wiley with 45, DJ Vasiljevic with 35, Humphreys with 30 and Trey Kell with 27. I don't think that there is anybody else worth looking at for Adelaide, and we'll touch on that a bit later on. Jack Jumpers fell to South East Melbourne Phoenix. South East Melbourne were great in this one, and new import Nader really come strong. Williams found himself in that foul trouble that I was worried about when I went to put the captain on him this week, and I saw most captainers on him. With 26, 4 fouls in the first half. And Gary Brown with a 42. He can light it up like that. Ben Eyre really getting that 17, 16, basically in every game at the moment. So he's been very consistent there. Matt Kenyon was good as well. Crawford with a 33. Milton Doyle with a 29. Jack McVeigh with a 22. And Willie Magnay, even though he went down the tunnel and looks to be a little bit injured. Still got 21. Marcus Lee with only the 9. Now, after, I believe it was the Sydney Kings coach or CEO went out and said, here's your Christmas gift. Illawarra going home at a loss by 30. Illawarra took care of the Kings in a really disappointing weekend for the reigning premiers. Jalen Adams with 37. DJ Hogue with 32, Jonah Bolden with 19, and Denzel Valentine with 14. Jalen Galloway as well with 17. Sam Froling capped off I think it was a 70-point week with 31 in this one. Gary Clark with 29. Lockie Ulbrich, 26, and Justin Robinson had 51 for the week. Now we head into Cairns Taipans and the Perth Wildcats. This one was a bit of an nail-biter. Bobby Clintman with 39. He just lit it up. He was on very little in the first half and just really come good. Taj McCall with 32. Paddy Miller with 29. Menenga with 24. Wardenberg with 21. And Taron Armstrong with 16. No Josh Roberts all week. Now we've got Doolittle with 45. I think that was a 16 and 17 game, just chipped away all around. Cotton still scoring really well with 42. Pinder again with 32. And those three guys from Perth just scored well all weekend. Saar with a 27. And Ben Henschel, yes, he exists, went and got 2 yesterday. Now, about half an hour ago, the Brisbane Bullets looked to be in this game. Chris Smith was lighting it up. He scored 36 Supercoach points. Bannon looked really good for his 20 points. Rocco Zakarski has found himself getting some more minutes. Not sure he's relevant just yet, but at 77K, he's definitely covered his one break even. If you did need to downgrade, I just wish he was a dual. But of course, he doesn't play anyway but centre, so I don't know why they would. Nathan Sobey was really disappointing in this one. Just couldn't get it going with 15. Anthony Lamb, 47. I know some guys that captain him. I know plenty of people that captain Parker Jackson Cartwright with his 26 there. Rubes DeVicious had 36 throughout the weekend. And Zylan Cheatham put the icing on the cake, but still did only score 14 points there. Look, I'm going to duck away and have a look at some questions now. I just can't work a lot of screens on my laptop while I'm away. So I am going to go back a bit. Theo is going Aldrich or Menenga. I wonder with the schedule going forward, I don't like Aldrich, but I think Aldrich is probably the pick. A Flying Toilet mentions that Lockie Aldrich is trying to play himself into our teams for about the third time this season. We have a lot of love for Ben Eyre out there. Look, Corey Blackledge is a bit annoying that he didn't captain Sauce. Look, me as well, but hey, you got to take a risk every now and then. Theo's thinking Wardenberg to Menenga and Magne to McCall. Mate, I do wonder if it is a little bit late to start getting on all these Cairns players, but hey, you did a lot better than me this week by the tune of about 120, 100. Maybe you shouldn't be getting advice from me if you did that well this week, mate. Mate, just up here in the penthouse. Look, my nose is actually bleeding a little bit up here, so thanks, Mr. CB. Matty Granger, captained Adams. Hammer is having to work with some of these storms on at the moment, so he's unavailable. Corey got a 458. Look, I think that's a really good score. Look, I'm really hoping that Craig does come back, Theo, this week. They were sort of saying that, only just a couple games. I saw him on the TV, didn't get to listen to the broadcast. I only caught the first quarter and the second half of tonight's game, but I'm hoping that he'll be back next week. But Southeast Melbourne's schedule starts to get a little ordinary from here. A lot of chat about Will Magne. Hopefully Theo does score some goods. And let's head into the previews of next week's games. Keep your questions coming in. I might not be able to answer them just on the spot, but there is only 2 teams on a double this week, and it is Adelaide and Cairns. Now, this is probably no team plays more games than Adelaide over the next 4 weeks. So I went ahead a little bit and said, I'm going to get 1 or 2 of these guys. And I've got Trey Kell and I've got Isaac Humphreys already. I'm thinking I would like to bring in Wiley. I'm going to find a way to bring him in with maybe Denzel Valentine and Bobby Clintman. I've got Sobey there as well. I've got to start moving these guys out. These guys with the weaker schedules. So, look, hey, where's the spin? Thanks for popping in. At least over the next 4 weeks, you've just got to get in some Adelaide players. As much as everybody on the podcast know that I don't enjoy Adelaide. And then once round 15 come, Illawarra have the best schedule. So you start to have a look at, your Gary Clarks and your and all those guys there. You're probably looking at Gary Clark and Froling. You could even have a punt on maybe a Robinson there. Look, those guys, once round 15 come along, they start to become very relevant. Heading into next week, though, I'm just working a few screens here at the moment. Forgive me. I've got a mouse, so I've got to use the touchpad, and doing it with one hand, can't do it. Keep the questions coming in. So tomorrow at 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, we do have Adelaide. I did mention that Adelaide do have 2 games this week, but playing Perth isn't always the best. You've got Trey Kell, you've got Isaac Humphreys, you've got Jacob Wiley, all very relevant players for Adelaide. It's really hard to know which ones to bring in, and I suppose it's who you can afford. Wiley has been the most consistent and probably the best Adelaide player so far. You've got DJ3J. Look, he's the most expensive one. Probably him and Trey Kell probably have really low floors, which I would Look, I'm not going to advise against them. Look, 2.1% of people have DJ 3J, 5% of people have Isaac Humphries, 9% of people have Jacob Wiley. But a lot of people will be looking to bring him in this week. Look, 1% of people own Trey Kell, so you can't get them all. But maybe if you can get at least 2 of them in, you can ride it out for a few weeks. I'm going to be getting 3. Flying Toilet mentions that Trey Kell has gone up 32K. So, look, I had the boost to bring him in. I'm pretty happy with that news, so that's fantastic. I'm going to be refreshing that screen as we go along. But really, you're going to be holding on to your Cairns players. Wouldn't be looking to bring in too many Cairns players because their schedule does go to water now. They're done. I'd say you could even start moving out some of the dead wood from your Cairns players going forward. So that's the first one with the Perth Wildcats. Of course, Perth only have a single. But if you do have Bryce Cotton or your Doolittle, Adelaide haven't been a fantastic team this year. Look, they did beat the Bullets, but I'm not going to ride too much. I think they had 4 losses before that. I think there's a good matchup for Perth if you do have to hold on to a Pinder, a Doolittle, or a Cotton this week. The Kings have been struggling. Cairns Taipans, they're actually paying $3.14 that I see. Thanks, NBL, and their sponsorship with Sportsbet. But Sydney Kings have been pretty ordinary. I kind of like the matchup for both of them. I think that they can both score well, but that won't stop me from range trading Denzel Valentine out this week. Boogie X, the best Christmas gift that I got was probably that 1992 Powers Broncos jersey. I might even wear it on the next pod. My brother got me that. That was probably the best gift I got. So thanks for asking, Boogie. Post what you got for Christmas in the comments. Look, the Brisbane Bullets are playing the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Both teams have been pretty ordinary. That is on Saturday, December 30. I see the Bullets are still favourites. I don't know how. But, yeah, both those schedules go to water for both those teams. So 2 singles for each of them. Actually, 3 singles for Southeast Melbourne. So you're not looking at bringing in anybody for that. Oh, you got a PS5. Excellent. We have Illawarra playing the 36ers, which is probably a good matchup for both of them, really. You've got Froling on Humphries. Humphries could probably slow Froling down maybe a little bit. Froling's been rolling. Good power forwards. It should actually be a really good matchup, to be honest, between Illawarra and Adelaide 36ers. Yeah, look, I expect them all to score well there. Cairns versus Melbourne, not a good matchup for Cairns. Yeah, look, these guys could really struggle. Like Taj McCall scoring on somebody like Luke Travis, you're probably going to really struggle there. You know, your Wardenbergs, your Menengas trying to score against Joe Luala-Chul and Huck Porty. Yeah, look, they could be in a little bit of strife there. And then you've got the Jack Jumpers versus the Breakers at 4 p.m. That's New Year's Day. So then we'll go into another lockout. And I believe it's then you do just get another 24. Oh, no, you do get 3 days next time. So this is the shortest lockout that we do get this year. Theo, that's great that you are ranked 188. Look, guys, keep your questions coming. Of course, I'm going to have to start looking at my trades, which lockout has happened while we are live. I've moved down 200 spots with my score of 424, and I'm still just ranked inside the top 1,000. Took a really big punt on Sobey. It didn't pan out, but look, when I saw him score his 41 in that first game, I knew that it was a worthy punt. I will probably be looking at moving Willie Magnay out. I know I've mentioned Valentine as well. Look, Valentine's got a break even of 52 in a single game. I'm going to have to get him out. Bobby Clintman's break even, and he's playing a double. I might just be holding him for one more week. I can move Sauce to the bench and start Humphries, and I'll probably be looking at, yeah, maybe your Magnay and Valentine to let's go. Jacob Wiley. Sorry, I have to work this out live on the pod. Otherwise, we're just going to miss out on it all. I have considered bringing in Jacob Wiley for a long time, and I'm going to have to look at a forward that I can afford. So with 213K, I have to bring someone in. On a single, but as we look forward to round 14, Melbourne have a double. So maybe I could bring in somebody from Melbourne. I don't know who's 213K. Maybe I could bring in someone from Sydney again. Yeah, look, I'm going to have to work that one out. Keep your questions coming in. We have... Look... Rob's sucking up to me a little bit now that Hammer isn't here. Look, I see you in the comments saying that you only want to listen to Hammer, mate. So, yeah, look, doubles. Doubles, we have Cairns and we have Adelaide. Adelaide play the most teams in the next 4 weeks. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, you're going to be wanting to get... If you want to get a week ahead, you'd be looking at Sydney. If you're looking at the next 5 weeks, you could bring in an Illawarra player or a Sydney player, I reckon, in the next 4 weeks. Mate, yeah, look, Rob's Punk is going to have to pop into the chat. Hey, guys, sorry that it was a short and sweet one. These things are pretty hard to do that, to do these solo, especially when you're away and all your audio equipment doesn't work. So who's the number one cheapie at the moment? Look, I'm going to have to have a bit of a delve into it. And we do have our Discord in the comments. So we are going to have to probably look at it a little bit the week coming forward. But I just start to think that these Ben Ayres and these Kenyan cheapies are sort of dropping out. Like maybe a Rocco Zakarski with his elevated minutes, even with the poor schedule, is somebody that you can look at. Probably looks more serviceable than an AJ Johnson at the moment. AJ Johnson got 5 on the weekend. I know that he's 68K. But yeah, look, maybe a Rocco Zakarski is the prime cheapie at the moment. There isn't too many cheapies around. Look, I'm excited to see Casey Prather come back in there. But yeah, look, there's not too many really good cheapies in around that. Not much has changed. There haven't been too many injuries except for maybe a Magnay. Maybe a Krislovic or somebody becomes relevant if Magnay is out. Look, Fabian Krislovic got 24 over the weekend. He's only 88K. So yeah, so maybe it is a Krislovic or a Rocco Zakarski, mate. A Flying Toilet has said, do I remember going back to round 2 when I was thinking about bringing in Baines as captain for Brisbane doubles? Now he's getting 5 minutes per game, 8 less than Rocco. Yeah, I don't really know what's happened to Bangers there, but I'd say he's carrying an injury. He hasn't really looked that good. They haven't won when he's got the big minutes. And yeah, maybe it's just time to go. He is at an age, like, how old is Aaron Baines? Aaron Baines is 37 years old. I think Father Time's just caught up to him. Look, yeah, Krislovic probably isn't a bad cheapie. Rocco, yeah, Rocco's PPM is great. He does look good while he's out there. Cheatham was a bit quicker than him out there. That's why they pulled the pin on him at certain points this game. But yeah, look, Baines doesn't look right. Harrison, I wasn't expecting that this year, actually, talking about the Bullets. But yeah, look, Rocco. Yeah, look, it is a pretty good shout. I just hate that he's not forward centre eligible. And I'm looking at having Sauce and Humphreys for at least the next little while. So, yeah. Is it round 3 for Trenton Flowers? No, I was actually looking today. Josh Bannon is a better player than Trenton Flowers, and Trenton Flowers is on draft boards. So, look, I think I'm waffling on a little bit. We're 25 minutes in. Thanks for popping on. I'll probably just keep this YouTube only. Hop in the comments. Let us know. Remember, you've only got until tomorrow afternoon at 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time to upload your teams. You've listened to an Insight Fantasy Sports podcast. Cheerio.